What if I told you that the most explosive, most misunderstood, and most squandered power you possess lies dormant within your own body? What if the very impulses that society has taught you to either shamefully suppress or mindlessly expend is, in fact, the raw, untamed fuel for genius, for unimaginable success, for a magnetic presence that alters the very air around you? I want you to consider a deeply uncomfortable question. Are you the master of your desire, or are you its slave? The answer to this question defines not only your relationships, your career, your financial reality, but the very trajectory of your soul's journey on this earth. Stay with me, because what we are about to explore is not about celibacy, it is not about repression. It is about an ancient form of inner alchemy, a forgotten key to unlocking a power so profound that its presence is felt viscerally and inexplicably by others, especially by women. It's a force they don't consciously understand, but intuitively recognize as a signature of true, integrated masculine power. This is the secret of sexual transmutation. The flame grows slightly brighter, illuminating faint, archetypal patterns in the darkness behind it. Images of ancient symbols, alchemical charts, and the statues of warriors and sages flash by almost subliminally. We live in a world saturated with a cheap, hollow caricature of sexuality. From the moment we awaken, we are bombarded by a relentless stream of hypersexualized imagery, a culture that worships at the altar of instant gratification. We are conditioned to see our most potent life-giving energy as a marriage to be scratched, a momentary pleasure to be pursued and discarded. Society has sold you a profound lie. It has taught you that your sexual energy is a simple biological function for procreation or a recreation tool for fleeting pleasure. It has been commodified, trivialized, and stripped of its sacred, creative fire. We are encouraged to spill our seed without thought, to chase a ghost of satisfaction that leaves us feeling emptier than before. This constant, mindless release is a drain, a perpetual leak in the vessel of your vital force. It keeps you docile, distracted, and anchored to the superficial. A man who is a slave to his impulses is easily controlled, easily sold to, easily manipulated. His focus is shattered, his will is weakened, and his creative genius is stillborn, drowned in a sea of momentary indulgence. Napoleon Hill, in his timeless masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich, dedicated an entire chapter to this explosive concept, calling it the mystery of sex transmutation. He studied the most successful men in history, the inventors, the artists, the industrial titans, the spiritual leaders, and they found a common thread, a secret they consciously or unconsciously understood, that the very same energy that creates life is the energy that creates fortunes, art, and empires. Hell didn't speak of suppression, he spoke of redirection. He saw this primal force not as a liability to be managed, but as the ultimate asset to be harnessed. He described it as a river of immense power. You can let this river flood its banks, creating chaos and destruction in your life through compulsion, addiction, and aimless wandering. Or you can build a dam. You can build the channels. You can consciously direct that immense flow of water to power a city, to irrigate a desert, to create a paradise. This energy, he argued, when channeled upward instead of outward, ignites the higher centers of the brain. It fools imagination, elevates thought from the mundane to the realm of genius, and cultivates an unwavering persistence that simply does not know defeat. It is the fire of enthusiasm, the spark of creative vision, the courage of the warrior, and the unshakable presence of the king. This is the essence of internal alchemy. The ancient alchemists sought to turn lead into gold. But the true, esoteric meaning of their work was never about metallurgy. It was about the transformation of the self. The lead was the base, primal, unconscious impulse, the raw chaotic sexual drive. The gold was the refined, illuminated, integrated self, the man of purpose, clarity, and enlightened consciousness. The process is one of fire and pressure. It is a journey into the furnace of your own being. To transmute is to take this raw, burning sexual fire, the very same energy that can lead to obsession, to jealousy, to lustful objectification, and to consciously raise its vibration. You don't extinguish the fire, you learn to control its heat. You become the master blacksmith of your own soul, taking the molten iron of your desire and forging it into a sword of unwavering will, a shield of impenetrable focus, and a crown of magnetic charisma. When a man stops mindlessly spilling his vital essence, something profound begins to shift within him. The energy that would have been expended in a fleeting moment of physical release is retained, accumulated, and begins to saturate every cell of his being. It's a physiological reality. Semen is not a waste product. It is a highly concentrated life force, rich in proteins, minerals, and genetic information, the very blueprint of life. To constantly discard, it is to drain your battery, to deplete your core reserves of vitality. When you retain this essence, your body undergoes a process of reabsorption. This vital fluid, this biological elixir, is reassimilated into the bloodstream, nourishing the brain, the nervous system, and the entire energetic field. Your voice may deepen, your eyes gain a certain clarity, a piercing depth, your physical stamina increases. But the most profound changes are internal, invisible, yet intensely palpable to those around you. The retained energy begins to pressurize your system, not in an uncomfortable way, but in a way that builds a powerful inner generator. This is where the true alchemy begins. The raw physical earthy the lead. The first stage of transmutation is discipline. It is the conscious choice to say no to the mindless impulse, not from a place of fear or guilt, but from a place of higher purpose. You are not denying your nature, you are honoring it. You are recognizing that this fire is too sacred to be used as mere kindling for a momentary spark. You are choosing to use it to fuel a star. This disciplined containment of energy is the crucible. Inside this crucible, the raw impulse begins to cook. It begins to separate from its lower expressions, the neediness, the desperation, the compulsive search for external validation through sexual conquest. This is the confrontation with the shadow. The shadow, as the great psychologist Carl Jung described it, is the part of ourselves that we repress, deny, and project onto others. For many men, the shadow is deeply entangled with their sexuality. It is the shame, the guilt, the addiction to pornography that promises connection but delivers only isolation. The endless swiping on dating apps, a hollow search for a woman to fill an inner void that no external person ever can. The compulsive masturbation, which is often not about pleasure at all, but a desperate attempt to numb anxiety, to escape boredom, to release a build-up of unexpressed emotional pressure. When you choose to retain your seed, you shut off the escape valve. You are forced to sit in the fire of your own discomfort. You must face the demons you have been running from, all the anxiety, the loneliness, the feeling of not being enough. It will all surface, demanding to be sane, and this is the most terrifying. yet most transformative, part of the journey. The undisciplined man runs from this fire. He seeks the nearest exit, a screen, a fantasy, a meaningless encounter, to release the pressure and go back to being numb. The warrior, the alchemist, stays. He breathes into the fire. He looks his shadow in the eye and asks, "What are you trying to teach me? What is this craving really for?" He discovers that his desperate craving for a woman's touch might be a deeper cry for self-love and acceptance. He finds that his addiction to pornographic images might be a hunger for true, intimate connection that he fears he is incapable of creating. He realizes that his compulsive need to release is a symptom of a life devoid of a powerful, driving purpose. The desire itself is not the enemy. It is a sacred messenger in disguise. It is a compass needle, shivering and pointing frantically, not towards a woman's body, but towards a wound within his own soul that needs healing. It points towards an undeveloped potential, a creative project left undone, a difficult conversation that needs to be had, a life mission that has been ignored. The energy is pure. It is how we use it that defines us. Uncomprehended, it becomes a destructive torrent. It manifests as aggression, as addiction, as a perversion of the sacred. But when you stand your ground, when you hold the tension of this powerful energy within your own being, without spilling it, it begins to transform. The lead starts to glow. The pressure and the heat of your conscious awareness act as the philosopher's stone. The energy, with nowhere to go, has no choice but to move upward. It rises from the primal centers of survival and procreation and begins to flood the higher centers. It energizes your heart, opening you to a deeper capacity for genuine love and compassion, not the needy, grasping love of the empty man, but a radiant, overflowing love that seeks to give rather than to take. It rises to your throat, giving you the power to speak your truth with clarity and conviction. It rises to your third eye, awakening your intuition, your ability to see beyond the surface of things, to perceive patterns, to generate visionary ideas. And it rises to your crown, connecting you to a sense of higher purpose, to the spiritual dimension of your existence. This is transmutation. The raw sexual urge turns into creative passion. The lust is transformed into love. The aggression is transformed into assertive action. The neediness is transformed into an unshakable, self-possessed presence. And this is the force that women feel. It is not something you can fake. It is not a pick-up line or a display of material wealth. It is a fundamental shift in your energetic signature. Women, who are by nature more attuned to the subtle currents of energy and intuition, can feel this on a primal level. They may not have the words for it, but they experience it as a profound sense of safety and stability in your presence. The man who is a slave to his impulses is energetically leaky. He is subconsciously seeking something from them. Validation, approval, a release for his inner pressure. His energy is needy, grasping, and ultimately draining. He is a boy in a man's body, constantly looking for a mother figure to soothe his inner turmoil. A woman's intuition senses this instability, this inner void, and it registers as unsafe, as immature. But the man who has learned to contain and transmute his life force radiates a completely different signal. His energy is self-contained. He is a full cup. He is not seeking to take anything from her, because he has already filled himself from within. His presence is calm, grounded, centered. Is the oak tree in the storm. This creates a powerful field of magnetic attraction. A is not chasing, A is simply being, and this being is so rooted in its own power that it naturally draws others to it. His gaze is different. He looks at a woman and sees her, the entirety of her being, not just a collection of body parts that can satisfy an urge. His compliments are genuine, not calculated manipulations. His touch, if and when it comes, is not the touch of a desperate taker, but the touch of a man who is present, who honors the sacredness of the interaction. This is infinitely more seductive than any rehearsed technique. It is the undeniable attraction to masculine wholeness. This journey of transmutation is the path of the true warrior. Not the brute who fights external battles, but the spiritual warrior who has conquered the battlefield of his own mind. He has faced his own abyss, the howling chaos of his untamed desires, and he has not been consumed by it. He has integrated it. He has harnessed the power of the beast within and made it his servant, not his master. He understands that self-control is the ultimate form of power. To be the master of your own internal state is to be immune to the manipulations of the external world. He is no longer herked around by every passing impulse, every provocative image, every emotional trigger. He possesses a stillness, a deep inner silence, the source of all true strength and wisdom. This process is not easy. It will require you to unlearn a lifetime of conditioning. It will challenge you to your very core. There will be days when the pressure feels immense, when the old habits scream for release. This is the dragon at the gate of the treasure. Your ability to withstand this fire, to stay present with the intensity, is what forges the sword of your will. Each time you consciously choose to redirect that energy, to pour it into your work, your workout, your creative project, your meditation, you are carving new neural pathways in your brain. You are reprogramming your entire being from the cellular level up. You are teaching yourself, through action, that you are the master. The pleasure you once sought in a fleeting, explosive release is replaced by a deeper, more abiding joy, the joy of purpose, the satisfaction of creation, the profound peace of self-master. The world is full of men running on empty, desperately seeking a spark from the outside world to feel alive. They seek it in a new car, in a promotion, in the approval of women, in the fleeting high of a chemical substance, or a momentary orgasm. But the man who practices transmutation discovers the ultimate secret. The power plant is inside. He doesn't need to plug into anything external to feel powerful, to feel alive, to feel worthy. He is the source. This creates a state of radical independence and an effortless charisma. He walks into a room, and the atmosphere shifts. There is a weight, a substance to his presence. He speaks, and people listen, not just to his words, but to the resonant power behind them. He moves with a purpose that is both relaxed and incredibly potent. He has tamed the fire that consumes other men and transformed it into light. If this conversation, this exploration of a deeper power, is stirring something within you, if you feel a resonance with this call to a higher path of masculinity, then invite you to join this journey with us. This is not about a single video. It is about a continuous process of growth and transformation. There is so much more to uncover about the practical techniques of transmutation, about navigating the challenges, about integrating this power into every area of your life. To ensure you don't miss the next step in this journey, take a moment right now to subscribe to the channel and, just as importantly, click that notification bell. By doing so, you're not just subscribing to a channel, you're making a conscious commitment to yourself a declaration that you are ready to stop being a slave to your impulses and start becoming the master of your destiny. You're signaling that you're ready to learn how to truly wield the most powerful force you possess. Do it now, and let's continue this path together. Now let's go deeper into the belly of the beast. The journey of transmutation is a confrontation with your personal history, with the ghosts of your past that have shaped your relationship with your own life force. Think about it. Where did you learn about your desire? For most of us, it was in secret, shrouded in shame and confusion. It was through stolen glimpses of forbidden images, through awkward and misinformed conversations in the schoolyard. There was no elder, no wise mentor to take us aside and explain the sacred nature of this fire. No one taught us that this incredible power could be used for anything other than a furtive, guilty release. So we developed patterns. We learned to associate our most potent energy with shame. We learned to hide it. We created a system in our own psyche, the good boy we presented to the world, and the bad boy who lived in the shadows of our secret desires. This internal split is the source of immense suffering. It creates a man who is not whole. It projects his unowned shadow onto women, either idealizing them as angelic saviors who can redeem his dark side, or demonizing them as tempting sirens who threaten to derail his control. He cannot have a clean, clear, and authentic relationship with a woman because he has not yet forged one with himself. The practice of retention forces disintegration. When you stop releasing the energy, you also stop releasing the psychological tension associated with it. You are forced to become a container for all of it, the light and the dark. You must learn to hold the raw, animalistic impulse alongside your highest spiritual aspirations. And in the crucible of this holding, a third new thing is born, the integrated man. The man who is not afraid of his own darkness. The man who can descend into the abyss of his own primal nature and return with its power, having tamed it and brought it into the service of the light. This is the archetypal journey of the hero. The hero must leave the village of his comfort zone, must venture into the dark forest, into the cave, to confront the dragon. The dragon, in this esoteric sense, is his own untamed libido, his own chaotic primal power. To slay the dragon is not to kill it. That would be repression, which only makes the dragon stronger and more monstrous, causing it to erupt in destructive ways. No, the hero's task is to tame the dragon, to face its fiery breath, to understand its nature, and to make an ally of it. The man who has tamed his inner dragon has access to all of its power, its passion, its vitality, its ferocity, but he is now the one holding the reins. He can use that fiery energy to protect his kingdom, to build his empire, to pursue his noble quest. When a woman meets a man who has undertaken this journey, she feels it. She feels it. He has met his own inner dragon. She senses that he is not afraid of the dark, either in himself or in her. He is not intimidated by her emotional intensity, by her wildness, because he has already faced and integrated his own. It provides a container of conscious presence in which she can feel her full spectrum of being, her joy, her rage, her sorrow, her ecstasy, without fearing that he will break, ruin, or try to fix her. He is the immovable mountain, and she can be the weather that plays across its face. This is the profound gift of the conscious masculine to the feminine. It is a gift that can only be given by a man who has first given it to himself, by mastering his own inner world. Think of your life force as a currency, the most valuable currency you will ever possess. Every single day, You are given a certain amount of this energetic capital. The great question of your life is how you choose to invest it. You can spend it cheaply, on fleeting pleasures, on mindless distractions, on hollow pursuits that leave you with nothing but a momentary buzz and a long-term deficit. This is the path of the energetic bankrupt. Or you can choose to become a masterful investor of your own vitality. You can invest it in acquiring knowledge, in building a business, in cultivating a skill, in deepening your spiritual practice, in being a pillar of strength for your family and your community. When you retain your seed, you are literally and metaphorically stopping the leakage of your most precious capital. You are building your inner fortune. Success in the outer world is a direct reflection of this inner energetic wealth. The man who is energetically rich exudes a confidence and a certainty that is magnetic. Opportunities flow to him. People want to be around him. It creates his reality from a place of surplus, not of scarcity. The transformation is radical. The man who once begged for attention now commands it without effort. The man who once chased women now finds himself being sought after by women of a much higher caliber, women who are attracted not to his superficial charms, but to the depth of his character and the power of his presence. He realizes that the ultimate aphrodisiac is not money, or muscles, or status. The ultimate aphrodisiac is purpose. A man who is consumed by a powerful, driving mission. A man who is using his life force to create something meaningful is incandescently attractive. His sexual energy is not needy, it is creative. It is the fuel for his legacy. He offers a woman not a void to be filled, but a world to be shared. The flame in the center of the screen burns with a purer, white-hot intensity. The heartbeat sound is gone, replaced by a powerful, inspiring orchestral score that begins to build. This is your invitation. This is your call to step out of the shallow end of life and plunge into the depths of your own being. It is a call to reclaim the most powerful force you have been gifted, to stop spilling it into the dirt and to start channeling it toward the heavens. This is not a path of denial, but a path of divine expression. It is not about becoming less of a man, but about becoming the man you were always destined to be, in your fullest, most integrated, and most powerful form. The man who masters his sexual energy does not kill his desire. He does not run from it. He walks straight through the heart of its fire and emerges on the other side, not burned, but purified. He learns that within the raw, prima lurke lies the seed of his own divinity. He discovers that the path to the stars leads directly through the center of his own body. He is the alchemist who has turned his own lead into gold. He is the warrior who has tamed his own dragon. He is the king who rules his own inner kingdom with wisdom, strength, and grace. He has stopped searching for wholeness outside of himself and has finally found it pulsating within. The power was never out there. It was never in the body of another, in the approval of the world, or at the bottom of a bottle. The power was, is, and always will be, within you. It is your birthright. It is the sleeping giant in your soul, waiting for you to sound the alarm. So, let this be the moment you decided to stop being the pawn of your impulses and start being the architect of your reality. Begin the great work. Conserve your vital force. Channel your sacred fire, and watch as you transform into the man you were born to become. A man of unshakable presence, of profound purpose, and of a strange, beautiful power that silently, yet undeniably, changes everyone and everything it touches. Your journey of transmutation begins now.